Here are 13 resume mistakes that ruin your chances of getting an interview. These are learnings from me reviewing hundreds of resumes over my 10 years as a hiring manager. Let's jump in. Mistake number 1, your resume is way too long. Hiring managers and recruiters will take 30 seconds to 2 minutes to read each resume, especially in this economy when they're being bombarded by hundreds of applications for one role. Keep it simple and easy to read in under 2 minutes. Don't make it more than 2 pages long. Here's the test you can do. When looking at your resume, ask yourself, is this relevant to the job that I'm applying to? So let's look at for each of the sections. For the skills, are all your skills that you've listed relevant to the job that you're applying to? For the experience, are all your experiences relevant to the job that you're applying to? You see a theme here, and cut out anything that's not relevant. For example, experience from more than 10 years ago is probably not relevant to this job. Then do the same for your awards and certifications section. Ask yourself, are some sections even needed? Recently, I reviewed a resume that had a section on languages. If you're applying for a multilingual job, that section makes sense. Otherwise, I would cut that section out because it can create unnecessary bias and may prevent you from getting that interview. Mistake number 2, you use one resume to apply to all the jobs that you are interested in. You must cater your resume to the job that you are applying to. For example, when I was looking for my last job, I was looking for a management position in either engineering or in program management. So I had 2 sets of resumes, one on the engineering side, one on the program management side. Each highlighted different experiences and skills, and I catered it further to the specific company and the job that I was applying to. Mistake number 3, you haven't included keywords that are in the job description for the job that you're applying to. For example, if the job is asking for experienced leading engineers, you must have a bullet point in your resume that talks about leading engineers. One test you can do here is put the job description and your resume side by side. Then ask yourself, does my resume prove that I can do this job well? Keywords also help with search optimization and help recruiters and hiring managers find you on sites like LinkedIn. Mistake number 4, some people take the keywords idea to the extreme and copy paste exact bullet points from the job description that they're applying to or job descriptions from their past. I've actually seen people do this. Instead, use your past experiences and accomplishments to show that you can do this new job. Mistake number 5, your resume has paragraphs for each of the bullet points that you've listed. I came across a resume where they had listed paragraphs under each work experience, and each of those paragraphs was 5 to 6 lines long. Keep it concise, 1 to 2 lines per bullet point. I've also noticed people put the word description in front of their bullet point. That's not needed, it's implied. Mistake number 6, you are not specific enough. A generic example is I worked on this app. Get more specific. What part of the product did you work on? What specific feature? Did you work on the customer service side? Did you work on the user experience side? Or on the engineering side? Mistake number 7, you got specific, you've listed the task, but you haven't listed the impact that you've had. Here's an example. Worked on a chat feature that allows users to respond with custom stickers. What's wrong with that line? A lot of times I'm reading resumes and asking myself, so what? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to understand the impact that task had. What problem did you solve by doing that work? You can phrase it as did X which led to Y, or got result Y by doing X. A tip here is to quantify your impact. Numbers can help showcase your results and are also eye-catching. In the previous example, an impact would be that the user engagement increased by 20%. And be ready to talk about it because interviewers may ask follow-up questions. If you're finding this video helpful so far, smash that like button. It will help support the channel. Mistake number 8, you've used acronyms. Hear me out. Acronyms are not necessarily a bad thing, but they can make it harder for some people to understand and interpret your resume. A simple rule here is to put the full form of the acronym with the acronym in parentheses right after. This way you can reuse that acronym later on in the resume. Mistake number 9, you start your bullet points with weak action verbs. For example, supported, worked on, coded, contributed, participated in. Instead, start each bullet point with a strong action verb. For example, led, collaborated, partnered, built, created. Mistake number 10, your key sections are out of order. The order matters. I noticed some people put their education section up top. This can work if you don't have relevant work experience. But if you do have relevant work experience, I would put this higher than education because most employers care about the experience that you bring to the table. The order that I would recommend for key sections include skill summary, work experience, relevant projects, then education. The order within these sections matters too. In most cases, I would do reverse chronological, but in some cases, for example, for skills or like relevant coursework under education, I would put it in terms of what's most relevant up top. Mistake number 11. Your formatting is all over the place. Are your fonts consistent? How about the bolding? How have you listed locations where you worked? Some people do city, then the state, or city, then the country, or some people have a mix. Be consistent, clean and consistent. Are you ending your bullet points with a period or not? This is not a deal breaker, but it does show attention to detail. And this added finesse will make your resume easy to read. Mistake number 12, your resume is bloated with graphics. Now, unless you're applying for an artistic job, I would suggest to keep your graphics to a minimum and focus on the text instead. For artistic jobs, they'll usually ask for a portfolio, which you can link in your resume. One other point about graphical resumes, keep in mind the loading times. I'd come across a resume recently which took a good 15 to 30 seconds to load. Not all hiring managers may be patient. Mistake number 13, your LinkedIn URL is too long. The positive, you've included the link to your LinkedIn profile. This is awesome in case you want to learn more about your work experience. But I suggest getting a custom shorter URL. It's free, helps others find you easily, and looks more professional. This is how you get one. Go into your profile, at the top right, you'll see a section on custom URL. Here you can select one. Mine is linkedin.com/Neeraj Mathrani. Bonus section. Get a little creative. I know, I just talked about graphical resumes, but there are ways to get creative with minimal graphics. For example, I had received a resume that looked like a character sheet from a game, where they had listed their skills as different bars. For example, leadership was 5 out of 6, technical skills was 4 out of 6. This resume made sense because it was for a gaming company, and it really made them stand out. If you'd like me to give feedback on your resume, book a one-on-one coaching call with me. The link is in the description. For more help in getting your next job, check out my Get Hired playlist. I wish you the very best. You got this.